Welcome to Just Reasoning, the talk show where we talk all things Caribbean. I am your host with the most hairstyles, that is, Jasmine. Welcome to the show. Thanks for tuning in. Now, I can't go on any further without, of course, you're waiting for a joke. Without, of course, introducing my panelists and good friends. We have Mr. Chris Walters, SRP, CEO and founder, and also executive producer of Just Reasoning.
Queen Patra, how you doing? You all right?
I'm fine. How are you?
You're always a faster than.
Yeah, you know.
We haven't seen Patra in a while. Where you been?
Negro.
Anyway, you've been in the Caribbean.
Welcome.
All right, you've been in the Caribbean for a while. How was that enjoying?
It's wonderful. It's wonderful as always. Went home, the family's all good. They all say hi. So it was good, man. Always good to get home and check out things. Make sure my people's still doing good.
Good. Glad you're back.
Yeah, man.
We have Mr. Gary Speshi Farran, founder of online shopping, Speshi.com.
You get better with the name every month.
Hello, Speshi. How are you?
I'm great.
Good to see you again.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. And our guest panelist,
Black Spanish.
A good friend of mine, my Belizean buddy, DJ Gio A1. Co-founder of Vibes NY, one of the upcoming hottest Caribbean nightclubs in Houston, Texas. NY Vibe with the Houston swag, so I hear. And also rhythmradio.us.
Yeah.
And A1expressions.com. Welcome, Gio.
Hey, thank you for having
Yeah,
me.
there's most jobs as a Jamaican.
I tell you, man. The last of the Renaissance, man. Trust me.
Everybody wants to be Jamaican.
Well, I did mention that he's my Belizean friend, of course, and there's some big things coming up for Belize, 30-year anniversary of independence.
This weekend, we're having a nice little celebration over at the club. Everyone's invited. It's 30 years independence.
30 years?
Free from the shackles of
The man.
Great Britain, the Queen.
That's wonderful.
Well, definitely, we're so glad to have you here.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me.
I'm feeling the look. I like the glasses.
Thank you, I
a good look.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Have a Sarah Palin look to it.
Sarah, tell
Yeah.
her.
Anyway, moving right along. So be sure to check us out at justreasoning.com and Twitter us. Tweet us. I don't know why I always say Twitter, but tweet us at Twitter at Just Reasoning.
At Facebook.com/JustReasoning.
Yeah.
Just
Facebook,
Reasoning all over the place.
Just Reasoning.
Anyway, let's reason.
So are you ready?
We're ready.
You
Let's
ready?
reason.
Ready.
Let's get it.
You ready?
Let's
You're
reason.
always ready. All right.
Always ready
To the
reason.
team.
Hot topic number 1. Dudus pleads guilty. Accused Jamaican juggler Christopher Dudus Coke pleaded guilty to conspiracy charges in a plea agreement that will, of course, reduce his jail time. And he's going to be sentenced December the 8th. So, my question. Are you surprised that he pleaded guilty?
You know, I mean, when I first heard that he pled guilty, I was a little surprised because I expected a big, long, drawn-out trial. You know, it was a big kick-up and dust-up, and a bunch of people died fighting against his extradition. So when I heard he pled guilty, I was a little surprised. But after I kind of read more about it, and it was basically a choice. You know, they had all kinds of wiretap evidence.
Right.
They had, you know, convicted criminals about to testify against him. They had
12.
all kinds of things. Yeah.
There were 12 to be
You know,
exact.
so it was basically a choice, you know, life in prison or 20 years, you know. So, I mean, I think in the end he made the right decision and it probably made a bunch of people happy.
Yeah.
And
Why,
also-
you don't think you should just take a chance with the trial?
Well, you know, his attorney actually said that they wanted to do the plea agreement because if not, he would, of course, have 23 years, I think, to be
Yeah,
exact.
that's the maximum you
You
can
don't
get.
know, but you still don't know.
No,
You have
life.
to be guilty first.
Yeah.
You have to be guilty first.
I think,
You know, I mean, a plea agreement is basically a tactic to scare you into taking some jail time. You know, if he thought he was so innocent,
The court record says, he said this exact quote, "I am pleading guilty because I am."
guilty.
You know, so I mean, obviously, you know, the man knew he was guilty. And then the lawyer probably laid things out and said, this is what they have. They tried to dismiss the wiretap evidence, but they couldn't dismiss it. So they have all this evidence against him. At the end of the day, you know, he's just 42 years old, 20 years in jail. You can't come back and still live a
not
decent
really. His
life.
daddy didn't do so well in prison.
No, but no, that's Jamaican prison. You know, yeah.
In my take on it, as an outsider looking in, right? From what I know about Dudus, he had a lot of backing in government. That backing was not going to be there anymore. That disappeared. So all his clout that he had used as his support system, right? That's no longer there.
Gone.
So there's no other choice he had to do but make a plea.
I believe you should always battle it out in court.
He's not gonna, he's not, listen, he's not a, first of all,
They thought to be innocent.
if you look at the whole scenario,
you still have to convince a jury.
he's not a fighter.
Look here.
Other people fought for him
And died.
and died. He's not out there fighting. He ran away in a
I
costume.
don't know about just saying, hey, just give me the jail time and let's just get this over with.
It's not just jail time. He got away with it.
Should Budge have then taken the plea?
But Buju believed he was innocent. You know,
But he wasn't.
Yeah.
He still believed he was innocent, so he fought it. You know, but I mean, I think basically there are a bunch of people breathing a sigh of relief. I believe that this didn't go to trial because
It's embarrassing for the country.
There's a
Not necessarily.
there's the the drugs and the gun running thing that they have.
It's bad publicity, man.
But also he had I just finished reading the book on Dudus, and it's a very interesting book. And he had a lot of. He was much more powerful than you can ever imagine, and he had a lot of legitimate businesses, government contracts, and all that. So you get to court and they start talking all these things. Names start calling. Bruce Golden do this and that. You know, I mean, a bunch of people breathing a sigh of relief that didn't go to trial.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, people keep thinking that, because he's known to associate with JLP, that he's a JLP representative.
It's more than known to associate, man.
He lasted too long to be one side.
Yeah,
Well,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
But he didn't have that backing no more.
18 years before that, PNP was in power. He was still getting all of this. So what is he, PNP? What is he?
He's a businessman at the end of the day. That's all it is.
At any rate, I'm sure we can go on and on and on about Dudus. Maybe
So
that'll be the next episode. So let's not. We have some more news to talk about. Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad Prime Minister declared a state of emergency.
What's her name? I couldn't pronounce it either, so that's why I
We'll say the Prime Minister declared a state of emergency in several so-called quote-unquote hotspots across Trinidad. The declaration came after 11 murders took place. And
Just
what's
11, huh?
That's a day in Jamaica.
in Jamaica, we call that a weekend.
That's a morning breakfast.
That's a weekend in Jamaica, man. That's
So apparently we have some top shotters in Trinidad and Tobago.
Shotters are everywhere.
Well, anyway, the stipulations to this state of emergency, of course, there's going to be a curfew from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. But in the coastline area part of Trinidad, the curfew is actually 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. So, and this also in the stipulations include that police can search you in this time. So my question is, did they overreact?
Yes, that don't work.
Yeah.
I mean, we have Jamaica's proof. That doesn't work. Curfews, police doing spot checks. That doesn't work. They go as far as, in Jamaica, they went as far as collecting a whole bunch of people. I think it was like 4,200 people, and out of that they only arrested like 24 of them. I mean, that doesn't work.
Well, in Trinidad, there were 100 people detained. Only 100. But this is what's interesting. The Prime Minister was quoted saying, "No criminal will be allowed to deny our country and its citizens of their freedom." So, my question is, in the state of emergency, are people being denied their freedom, their basic freedom and rights?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm opposed to the state of emergency, like especially you're saying, but bottom line, I don't think it works. I don't think you fight crime by, suspending the rights of all for a period of time. If you, put all efforts in one area, then crime will pop up somewhere else. So, and as soon as the state of emergency goes away, things get right back to it. Fighting crime is it's a complicated thing. It involves a lot of different people. Government, business, social organizations, a lot of different things. And so to suspend everybody's rights, so you can't leave your house between 9 p.m. and 5 a.m. At first it was for 15 days. Now they just passed like a couple weeks ago, they extended to 3 months. So it's not until November, and this is probably one of the questions we're going to talk about is just the impact on the economy. There's an article, a lot of businesses like restaurants and, obviously nightclubs and all that have, said they've seen like a 90% drop in revenues.
Right.
So you can't do that to people, man. And I don't think it's going to work at the end of the day.
So do you think that the government is going to compensate these businesses?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, it sounds good, but then everybody would say they are affected. You'd have daycare centers saying they're affected.
If they prolong this, hopefully they won't. My curiosity would be, what happens to Carnival?
Carnival would not be effective. That's a religion.
If these murders happen the week before Carnival, none of this will be going on. I mean, that's,
you won't hear about it.
That's their lifeblood, man. So there's no way. So, you know, I mean, they're going about it the whole wrong way.
The thing about it is, it's like a band-aid fix. It's superficial, right? It's not going to heal the wound. The wound's still there. You know what I'm saying? Tackling crime and all that stuff has to do with social. Okay, it's a social framework. You have to do with poverty. You have to do with, you know, status and class. And, you know, in Trinidad there's a division, right, with the blacks and the Indians, right? Not saying that's the cause of the problem, because I'm not there on the street. I can't tell you that's the reason, right? I can only speak from experience in my own country. In Belize, there's a gang violence is really one of the top reasons for you know, crime in Belize, right? But what I always pose to the politicians and leaders is, who brings in the guns? The gang don't build guns. I mean, it might be ingenious to build one, but they don't have the capital to bring in the drugs, bring in the weapons. They're being financed by somebody. Tackle that person. Tackle that system. Deal with that. Don't bring out this propaganda. Right? That is, oh, we're gonna curfew and that's gonna fix everything. It's not gonna fix nothing. It's gonna fool the masses that don't think.
They know who's bringing in the
Of course they know, but they ain't gonna deal with it because they finance both sides.
I'm saying it's such a widespread problem.
Exactly.
So it's not just, you don't just hit what's going on in the streets. It's a lot of different things that have to be done. So this is not going to work, and free up these people, man. Let them live their lives.
So all in all, ineffective. Boom. Moving on.
We all agree. That's a just reason.
Across the Caribbean, that don't work.
Drinks
A consensus.
everybody.
All right. Of course, this year marks the 10-year anniversary of the tragic event that happened in New York, 9/11, where there were hijackers that hijacked the plane and attacked the Pentagon and attempted to attack the White House and brought down the Twin Towers.
Time really flies, man. I mean, it don't seem like it's 10 years ago. You know, it just seems like a few years ago.
A lot of things happen. Bin Laden's dead.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Obama got to get in there and fix things, but you know.
Anyway, that's another story. So I have a question. And this may be a little personable. If you had family in New York, what are your recollections of that time period?
So, I mean, okay, so I was in New York for the Labor Day parade the week before this happened. So I remember getting up and turning on the TV and see all this going on. And you know, I was like every Jamaican or in the Caribbean, people have family and friends in New York. And I had a couple of good friends who actually worked in the Twin Towers. So, I mean, after it finally hit me, you know, I get up and I, spend all day trying to call. And if anybody trying to call New York at that time, you couldn't get through. You know, so I was just calling all day long. Were people texting back then? But I don't remember. But so it wasn't until maybe like about 4 or 5 hours later, finally reached the people. I mean, luckily one guy, one of my friends, he actually gone out the night before, got drunk, and got to work late the next day.
Wow.
So when he was walking in, that's when he saw everybody running out. So
God bless Caribbean time.
So score one for getting drunk.
I'm glad we're always late.
Yeah, man. So.
Well, I know, especially during the actual time of the event, that America really became unified. It didn't matter if you were a Christian or an atheist, a Jew, a Gentile, a Caribbean, an American, a Belizean, a white or black.
Actually,
that was
no. Everybody else besides if you're a Muslim. Let's not forget that.
Exactly.
Strong stereotypes, strong racism, strong prejudice against Muslims. People that look Muslim, people that look Middle Eastern.
That's true.
People that look Asian.
Some Muslim that got killed too.
Yeah, no, but the general consensus of the people was, be afraid of them. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
But, so I mean,
the boogeyman.
You're both exactly on point because, right? I mean, I've never
We're
seen
unified
America,
in prejudice.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Yeah, I've never seen America so
unified.
For one, patriotic. You know, as Caribbean people, I was wearing our flags on our cars and whatever. Americans typically don't, but you just saw flags everywhere, and there was a real sense of unity. I'm not a Muslim, so I didn't get it from the other side, but I worked with a couple of guys who weren't even Muslim, but they were Sikhs, and they wear different kind of turban around their head, and one of them, his uncle's shop, got broken into and vandalized and all that. So you're exactly right.
We're gonna do that anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, but like you said, it was unified in a sense, but all the anger was turned towards
Right.
Muslims. You know, and you know.
I don't think they've ever been hated like how they were that time.
They're
Oh
not
yeah,
trying-
since then, it hasn't
It's
stopped.
good that they're not focusing on us right now, black.
Yeah, I mean,
our Caribbean people.
it's like, look, I think black people.
What my name Reed? My name Reed on the plane?
Yeah. You don't think he
So-
was Jamaican too?
So there were two sides to that. America becomes patriotic, and then of course the perceptions that Americans had towards Muslims. Hey, let's talk now. Do we still have that same sense of patriotism, or has it declined since?
When it all started going to hell was right. I think for the most part, America was on board with going to Afghanistan. Not everybody, but people were like, "That's who did it. Let's go and get them." And people were. Then when he basically made a drastic turn and got to Iraq, that just caused all kinds of division within the U.S. I mean, Bush had the whole world at his feet who would support anything that he did for a while. Then he went to Iraq and everything fell apart. And since then, I've never seen a country as divided as the U.S. has been since then. So from about 2003 until now, it's just all kinds of hell going on, man.
Absolutely.
So
Well, here's the thing, right? I agree with you to a certain extent.
Okay.
But at the same time,
That's
yeah, I know,
progress.
right? That's progress, right? But I think what changed the American opinion was seeing their dead soldiers come back home.
Yes.
Right.
Because with or without Iraq, they would not have supported Afghanistan as long. The question is though, why Afghanistan?
right.
I'm gonna make this conversation really interesting now, right? Charlie Sheen, step back. All right. Why Afghanistan?
Women!
It's Saudi Arabia that most of the hijackers came from.
Right.
Why don't I attack the Royal Kingdom?
Because of oil. We know
Exactly.
Because they thought Bin Laden was in the caves. And
No.
I don't think it even mattered. I just think
That's
it was
where they were
the-
training on the monkey bar, so they have to go and blow up the monkey bar.
in the cave. He probably
Well,
don't
I'm
even
sure-
know what the caves look like.
Well, I'm
He
sure
was
we can-
chilling in a big house.
I'm sure that we can go into
There's
the
so much more
political
to say about
aspect
9/11.
of that 9/11.
I think one thing to talk about real quick is just the financial impact of it. It's important that people realize that Bin Laden himself said they know they can't beat the U.S. militarily. So what they can do, they can send one little man to go and blow up something someplace, and the U.S. is going to
React.
put billions of dollars towards it. And over the course of that time, they spent an estimated $3 trillion. And look at the state of the economy right now. So their goal all along was to bankrupt the U.S. They're not trying to, blow up the entire country.
Right.
They're trying to bankrupt them, and that's what's going on right now. So I mean, this empire, the United States empire, people don't call it that, but that's what it is. It's crumbling, and it's all because of this kind of thing.
And Obama's left to clean it up. Anyway, next topic.
Oh,
Hey,
Okay.
y'all can't do that, man. Y'all can't just leave on that.
yes, we can. We're moving on. We're moving on. Okay, now I know C-Dub, you got a lot of hits on Facebook for this topic. Guyana says no to criminalizing willful spread of HIV. So, and what happens with this story is the Parliament agreed not to pursue.
5 minute break. It's supposed to be a break.
No.
All right, go on. All right, go on.
The Parliament agreed not to pursue legislation that would specifically make it a crime to purposefully spread HIV to
Taliban, what you have to say?
people.
Taliban, talk to the people. What do you
He
think?
hasn't asked a
I haven't
question
even
yet.
asked the question yet. Okay, so anyway, the reasoning behind this, or the logic behind this, is that legislation said that it would merely discourage people from getting tested, and also it will increase the stigma or the discrimination to people infected with HIV. So, this is coming from the Director of Health, Dr. Leslie. Now, do you believe that it should be criminalized to
Taliban?
spread HIV?
Oh yes.
The problem is,
Do you think
All right, two
it
questions.
should be criminalized?
Willingly.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree, for the most part, if it's
both-
willing and you
both
know
willingly and unwilling.
and unwilling. So if you never even know,
Well, you get-
Even if you don't know,
You
it
must-
is your moral responsibility.
so the government
to
must
find
now
out.
mandate that you go and get tested.
Nah.
That's
No, that's not
where it would
no.
lead to.
That's what it is.
That's where it would have to lead to. If you go to punish somebody for unwillingly, them never know.
Right.
That means that you have to find a way for them to go and get tested. So that means the government is now saying you must go and get tested. You want the government in everybody's bedroom and everybody's.
No, it's not
It's not
about
about being in the bedroom.
Yeah.
You're over exaggerating.
You're the host. No opinion.
It's not about being in somebody's bedroom. If you kill somebody slowly under any circumstance, you should pay the price for it.
Thank you.
Under
Agreed.
any circumstance.
Agreed.
You know you're gonna put somebody in a situation to die.
Secondhand smoke.
It doesn't matter.
Unwilling.
That's poisoning somebody slowly.
Like I said,
go to jail
I think
too.
we are, and you know, a lot of people.
You have to force people to take responsibility for their actions. And you are when you
The government can't come and mandate everything.
what? I'm not asking them to mandate.
They would have to mandate it.
They don't.
If you are going to put them in jail for
Right.
not knowing that they were positive, then that means that government is saying you must
get
go and get
tested.
tested ever so often.
No, you don't must.
After
you don't have
every,
So how they gonna know?
after every weekend, you know.
Death is
It
death.
don't work like that.
If you cause
don't happen like that.
somebody to die, if you cause somebody to die, you should be jailed.
You know how ram the prison would be?
I for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Anyway, we got to take a quick commercial break and we'll be right
You
back.
can't cut
Thank
off
you
that
for tuning in
subject
Just
like that,
Reason.
man.
We're back.
Jeez.